Good morning, everyone, and welcome to week 2 in our family series. Last week we looked at how family and faith should make things easier, but in reality, so often it makes things messy or hard. It doesn't always make things easier. And this week we're going to launch into some really messy family situations in the Bible. So join us. I think we've all seen those seemingly perfect TV families. The kind of family that always sits down together. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to OPC's Youth Sunday morning lesson. I'm thrilled to have you here today. It's awesome to be together in this way. Today, we're going to continue our look at messy families. Last week we looked at faith and that we think that faith should make family easier, but sometimes it makes things messier or harder. And I think we've all seen those seemingly perfect TV families. The kind of family that always sits down to get to dinner together, always helps each other out of tough situations, and always supports each other. Of course, part of the reason we love watching those pretend families on TV is because at times it was a lot better than our real lives. In real life, family is a lot more, or can be a lot more, like a messy reality TV show than that picture-perfect family. Maybe you can relate because your family has had a few less than perfect moments of their own. Maybe you feel like your family situation is a lot messier than everyone else's. But can I let you in on a secret? We all feel this way at some point, and you aren't alone. This is true for every single one of our families, because no family is perfect. Maybe there's a lot of tension in your home. Some families slam doors, argue a lot, stomp their feet, yell. Some families have a lot going on but never actually talk about it. You sense it, you feel the stress in the room when your family talks about money or faith, vacation or holiday, step-siblings, or any number of things. And that tension makes your house a stressful place to live. Or maybe you've discovered some things about people in your family that you wish you didn't know. Secrets about relationships, affairs, legal problems, or bad decisions. Secrets that have hurt people and caused major problems in your house. Maybe for you, the problem in your family comes from something really serious. Something like abuse or neglect, addiction or abandonment. You may feel really alone in those situations. And if you are, I want to encourage you today to speak up. To open up to an adult you trust who can help you navigate that in a healthy way. Maybe your family is facing other big problems. You're dealing with things like divorce, remarriage, a parent who left and never looked back, siblings who are always in trouble. Maybe it's even something like illness or death, things that can certainly leave your family feeling less than perfect. Honestly, no matter what it is that you're dealing with at home, I think that's true for all of us. In some way or another, no family is perfect. What's difficult about this is that sometimes we think that nothing good could ever come from an imperfect family. That God couldn't use a family like mine. That God couldn't use us if we come from a family like that. But as we will see today, that couldn't be further from the truth. Here's the thing about the Bible. Some of the people in it are kind of messed up. Their lives weren't perfect, and a lot of their families weren't either. In fact, there's one family in the Bible whose story I love. Not only was their family totally dysfunctional, but God still did big things through them. I think the same can be true for us. The story in the Bible starts with a man named Abraham. God promised Abraham a lot of descendants, and he promised to use that family in a big way. Abraham had a son named Isaac, who had two sons, twins, named Jacob and Esau. Even though they were twins, these two guys were very different from each other. They looked different, they acted different, they had different interests, and all these differences caused a lot of drama between the two boys. Now here's where it gets crazy. Even though Jacob and Esau were twins, Esau was firstborn. Being the firstborn was a big deal in the Bible. For one, being the firstborn meant that Esau got the birthright. He would be in charge of the family's wealth, property, and pretty much everything when their father Isaac died. And second, being the firstborn meant Esau got the blessing. He'd receive the family's future wealth and prosperity. Since this family came from Abraham, Esau's blessing also included all the promises that God had made to Abraham. Promises to make their name great, to do big things with their family, and to bless all people through this one family. As you can imagine, Jacob, the younger twin, didn't really love this situation, because as the second-born, he wasn't going to get the birthright or the blessing. Now their mother Rebekah favored Jacob over Esau, so together Jacob and his mom came up with a plan. First, Jacob convinced Esau to promise the birthright to him. And honestly, it didn't take much convincing. Esau was starving after being out hunting, so Jacob offered him some food in exchange for his birthright. It doesn't seem like even a trade to me, but haven't we all made some crazy decisions when we're hungry? With the birthright now his, all Jacob needed to do was trick his father Isaac into giving the blessing to him instead of his brother Esau. Now because Isaac was old and toward the end of his life, his eyesight wasn't good at all. When it came time to give Esau the family blessing, Jacob's mom helped disguise Jacob as his brother Esau, so that Isaac would give him Esau's blessing. And here's the crazy thing. It worked. Isaac gave Jacob the blessing that was promised to Esau. Of course, when Esau came in a few moments later, he had no idea what his brother Jacob had done. When their father Isaac realized what happened, let's take a look at how it played out in Genesis chapter 27. So if you have a Bible with you, you can open up. If you have your phone and you have a Bible app on there, you can flip with me or thumb with me to Genesis 27. And we're going to read verses 34 to 38. When Esau heard his father's words, he let out a loud and bitter cry. "Oh, my father, what about me? Bless me too," he begged. But Isaac said, "Your brother was here, and he tricked me. He has taken away your blessing." Esau exclaimed, "No wonder his name is Jacob, for now he has cheated me twice. First he took my rights as the firstborn, and now he has stolen my blessing. Oh, haven't you saved even one blessing for me?" Isaac said to Esau, "I have made Jacob your master, and have declared that all his brothers will be his servants. I have guaranteed him an abundance of grain and wine. What is left for me to give you, my son?" Trust me, it only gets worse from there. After some really heated conversation, we find out that Esau planned to kill his younger brother Jacob. Their mother sent Jacob away to protect him, breaking up their family completely. So what's the point of this, frankly, insane story? Well, it's that the story didn't stop there. Sure, this family was a mess. But in spite of all that, God still had an important future planned for them. He had promised something great to Abraham, and a messed up family wasn't going to change that. Their family didn't have to be perfect for God to use them. Hundreds of years after this happened, the writer of a book of the Bible called Hebrews looked back on this story, And there, the writer didn't talk about the mess, or the bad choices, or the pain in this family. Instead, they wrote this: by faith, Isaac blessed Jacob and Esau in regard to their future. And that's out of Hebrews chapter 11, verse 20. See, Isaac didn't eventually pass on a blessing to Esau. It wasn't the same as the original blessing that Jacob stole, but it was something. It was an act of faith. Even though there was a lot of really bad moments in their family, the very act of Isaac passing on the blessing in his family was an act of faith. It was a way of saying, I believe what God said about our family is true. I believe he has something good for us in the future. See, God had a plan for this imperfect family. And even in the middle of so much pain and so many problems, they trusted God to come through. And that's what I want for each of us. You see, your family doesn't have to be perfect for God to be able to use it. Seeing how God didn't forget about a less than perfect family back then can give you and I hope that he'll do the same for our family today. In fact, for a lot of you, the most hopeful thing about this lesson is that no family is perfect, but God works anyway. Being imperfect isn't the end of the story, which is a huge relief. You don't have to be perfect for God to use you, and your family members don't have to be perfect for God to use them. You don't have to come from a perfect family to be able to do amazing things. What a relief, right? Here's what I want you to try. 1, choose to believe God is working anyways. Your family will mess up. You will mess up. We're not perfect. Your siblings will borrow stuff or take stuff without asking. Your parents will yell. No matter what your family looks like, they aren't going to be perfect. The next time that happens, instead of getting frustrated or shutting down, have faith that God will somehow use your family anyways. That he's working for your good. That he is with you in the mess of your family. That he can still use your family for his good. And secondly, stay connected to your family. Most of us tend to want to avoid our families when things get messy. We back up. We stay in our room. We put our earbuds in. We keep our eyes glued to the screen. We just ignore everyone and everything. But what if instead you made the choice to stay connected? Instead of backing up, you step in to the lives of those around you. What if you tried to talk to your mom or hang out with your grandparents, forgive your siblings? Trust me, you don't want to miss out on being part of the incredible story that God is writing in your family. So this week, instead of backing up, step in and stay connected to your family, even if you don't feel like it. Now, here's the thing, and this is an important disclaimer. For some of you, I know that staying connected to your family isn't the best option. In fact, it's not an option at all. Because the stuff that makes your family imperfect is more than just frustrations or annoyances. It's abuse, neglect, alcohol, drugs. It's the kind of stuff that makes staying connected to your family simply not safe. If that's you, I want to encourage you to instead connect with someone in your life who cares about you. I know that may be scary, but adults who you trust, who are trustworthy, are here for you for that very purpose, to connect with you when you need it most. And if you need somebody to talk to, please feel free to reach out to me, and I will either connect with you directly or find someone you can get connected with that you can trust. And remember, your family doesn't have to be perfect for God to use it. Thanks, guys. Let's close in a word of prayer. God, thank you for the opportunity and the reminder to hear your words, to hear that even though our family isn't perfect, you want to use us. I pray that you would help us to be open to stepping into the life of our family, to being part of it. Challenge us not to walk away when things get hard. We pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Thanks, guys, and we will see you right back here again next week.